Welcome back to the JMach Podcast, where we are combating veteran suicide one story, one conversation at a time. And I'm your host, JMach. Remember, your mental health matters and you're not alone. Don't hesitate to reach out and pick up your phone and call your friends or family, or head over to jmachpodcast.org to stay connected and get on our social medias. Now enjoy the show. So I'm out here on the second annual Memorial Walk at the Vietnam Memorial in Peoria. Today I'd like to introduce Scott Duke. What branch and rank were you, sir?
I was a retired Master Sergeant, United States Air Force, retired air traffic controller.
So you still got a nice throne to sit down in at home?
I do. We say we still have to wave our hands to part the sea.
Okay. Question, can you tell me a little bit about this memorial trail?
This is an amazing trail. It was created by a former veteran in the club, David Kirchbaum.
Okay.
And he built this trail. He was a combat veteran in Vietnam, and he wanted to educate people on the Vietnam War. So as you walk up, you'll see all of these plaques, and on these plaques are who got killed, different people that were there, how many are missing in action. It tells the whole story of the Vietnam War until you get to the top. Then at the top, our Veterans Club purchased benches so you could sit up there and reflect on the war, just reflect on life in general. It's an amazing walk, 0.22 miles to the top. The flag is maintained by some Trilogy residents. It's a wonderful thing, and we do this every Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Veteran War Day. It's just a great event for us to get together and be part of.
Absolutely, I love that. Can you tell me a little bit about the Trilogy Veterans Club that maintained this?
Sure. So the Veterans Club, 268 members are in the club, all branches of service except Space Force. We're too young for them. It's helping military veterans in need or at risk. Our motto is ready, reliable, and relevant. Ready because we'll always be ready to support military veterans. Reliable in that when we say we're going to do something, the club will be there and we'll get it done. And relevant, making sure that people in Peoria know about the Veterans Club, know about our mission, and know about us supporting those military veterans in need.
Outstanding. And can you tell me what Memorial Day means to you?
Memorial Day, for me, and I'll talk about it when we get to the top, it's a day of reflection. It's not a happy Memorial Day. There's nothing happy about the day. But it's a day to reflect on those that lost their lives in war and that paved the way for the freedoms and liberties that we have today. They protected that. And so it's a day of reflection for me.
Awesome. And what words do you have to say to the people responsible for putting this Memorial Day hike together?
Well, I'm just so proud. I'm proud you'll see a bunch of red shirts here. Those are members of the Veterans Club that come out to support it. We have a guy by the name of Don Borland, resident in Trilogy. He came out yesterday and cleaned the whole path to make sure that it was accessible for everyone to use the path today. So I owe him a lot of thanks for doing that.
Absolutely. I just want to end this by thanking you for your service and everything you're still doing for the veteran community, brother. Thank you so much.
You bet. And thank you, Josh. Thanks for your service.
My pleasure. All right, so can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what your nonprofit is?
Yes, my name is Amanda Tallman. I am a licensed master social worker, and I started First Page back in 2020. I had lost my team leader, Elliot Becker. He was my team leader in Afghanistan. I lost him to suicide in 2019. I started First Page because our last page doesn't define us. We always get a new first page.
It's amazing. What is your mission at First Page, and who do you primarily serve?
Yes, we serve veterans, first responders, and their families, and our mission is to make sure that we give that opportunity for a new first page. How do we do that? We do that through opportunities with horses, but we are looking to expand our programming and even give women the opportunity to express their stories with other female veterans.
Are there any eligibility requirements to be able to work with you and your nonprofit?
The only eligibility requirement is that you are a veteran and you served more than 1 day in the service. And so what does that look like? You can show us through a DD-214, you can show us through discharge paperwork, you can show us whatever that looked like. Even if it was a court martial, we're still here to support you.
Okay. And can you tell us where people can find you and find that support, whether it's online, in the community?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find us on our website at first, the word spelled out, FIRST page, PAGE.org, or you can look us up on Instagram or Facebook at First Page AZ.
And what kind of support do you need most now? Donations, volunteers, partnerships, or something else?
Right now, we're looking to partner with other organizations to plan out some events in the fall for families, working with veterans, first responders, and bringing them together. So we like to partner with other organizations so that we can plan a workshop. They bring the veterans, but they also have support from those organizations after we do our workshop. So partnering with those other nonprofit organizations and making sure that we have mutual support.
And what message would you like to leave our audience today?
I think the message that I want to leave today is that no matter who you are, no matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, your story matters, and that your story is a part of our community here in Arizona. And so whatever that looks like, if you want to get involved, if you're a civilian and you are like, I want to support veterans and their family, and you're like, I want to just hang out with horses, your story matters. And so whatever that looks like, you are welcome here, and we would love to have you support through volunteering or even just through your financial support as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Thank you. Was that better than the first one?
What do you mean?
All right, so we just got back from that Memorial Day hike. What did that hike mean to you?
Yeah, it meant a lot to me. 2 years ago here at Soldier's Best Friend, we lost our veteran service manager by suicide. And we've got a memorial park out back for him. We can show you a little later, but Jonathan Bailey, that's where my mind was as I walked up that hill today. Was thinking about Jonathan and just the heartbreak that it brought to this staff and to me personally, close friend, really a family member to me. It meant a lot to be able to honor that.
It's amazing, and I think you did a great job honoring him and everything that's happening here by bringing him up and keeping him alive and showing the spirits that sacrifices were made, but they're still remembered.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say here at Soldier's Best Friend, the last 2 years, we've had tremendous growth, helping more veterans than ever before in the history of this organization. We on staff all say it's because Jonathan spurred us on to say it was that much more important for us to do the mission and to honor him and make sure that every veteran possible could get a service dog, because that's what Jonathan was all about.
Absolutely. That's an amazing story. Can you tell us who you are and what inspired you to work for Soldier's Best Friend?
Yeah, for sure. Mick Milam, I'm the executive director. So about 3.5 years ago, I was at the Arizona Burn Foundation as their chief operating officer, and I felt like I needed to change and move to some place where I was the executive director or the chief executive officer, just to kind of close out my career. So I began to look. Working for me at that time was a veteran who had PTSD. He wasn't really getting the help he needed. He leaned a lot on me and on another friend of his to get him through some really rough times. I knew he needed help. I just didn't know where that help was for a veteran at that time. And then as I was looking for positions, I found this place and they were looking for an executive director. So I applied. I thought, I don't know if I have a chance or not because I'm not a veteran. But they interviewed me. They asked what my weakness was. I said, well, I'm not a veteran, but I do understand PTSD and I do understand the need to help people and to work with them through, walk with them through the journey they're on. So
That's amazing. We need more people like you out here. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran or not, mental health matters. And
That's right.
And we're not alone, so we all got to remind each other of that. Could you tell us what Soldier's Best Friend mission is and who you guys primarily serve?
Yeah, sure. Soldier's Best Friend, we're here to help U.S. military veterans living with PTSD or traumatic brain injury by providing them a dog. Most of those are rescued from local shelters, and then they train together in about a 9-month program until that dog qualifies to be a service dog. I do want to say combat-related PTSD for us is a much broader term than oftentimes you'd get like at the VA. So for us, you don't have to have served in a combat zone. You don't have to even have been deployed. If you were in military service and your PTSD as a result of that, then you qualify for our program. All we ask for is a confirmation of diagnosis of PTSD or traumatic brain injury. And that's our mission. It's really simple in some sense.
Right.
But it's difficult then to walk out, right? Because we're dealing with veterans with PTSD and we're dealing with shelter dogs who we don't know what they've experienced in life, right? So we pair them together and we start training them together. Sometimes the dog's a little slow, sometimes the veteran's a little slow.
For sure.
And sometimes there's a challenge with either one of them, but we get them through the program.
Yeah, I love how you expanded on you need to be a combat veteran, right? Because I myself am not a combat veteran, so as soon as I see that, I'm like, all right, well, I'm counted out. I don't matter. But that's not what you guys are doing here. So I love that. Other than having to have diagnosed PTSD or TBI, what are other requirements for someone to come work with you?
Yeah, so they have to have served in the military, obviously. It doesn't matter to us if it's a honorable or dishonorable discharge. If it's dishonorable, we want to know the circumstances of that. You know, the other qualifications are they've got to be committed to the program. It's not easy. We're talking twice a week you have to meet with the trainer for 1 hour every time, and then 5 days a week you have to do the training. If you're not going to put the work in, you're not going to get a service dog. We're going to be on you to do the work because the work is necessary to get that dog to be a service dog for you.
Okay. And where can people find Soldier's Best Friend? And I mean like online, in the community.
Online, soldiersbestfriend.org. Social media, Soldier's Best Friend is Facebook, and it's also our Instagram. Out in the community, we're always out there. We have training facility here in Peoria, but we also have one in Mesa. We've got them in Yuma, Show Low, Sierra Vista, Tucson, Prescott, and Flagstaff as well. 16 trainers across the state helping veterans, currently 56 veterans in training.
That's amazing.
Here in June, we will graduate 23 of those from this program with service dogs.
That's exciting. And what kind of support do you need most right now? Donations, volunteers, partnerships, something else?
The most support we need is people that will tell veterans that we're here and that we can help them. We have capacity to be training more veterans than we currently are. So our number one goal is veterans into the program. Do we need funding to make that happen? Of course we do. It costs $7,500 per veteran to get them through the program, so it takes money to make that happen. I always believe if you do what's right, the funding will always follow, and we're doing what's right. We're helping veterans to be able to live life again fully. And so the funding always falls in place for that. So yeah, if you want to donate, you can do that. But if you want to tell a veteran about this program, that's even more important.
So spreading the message.
Spread the message.
Absolutely. And my last question for you is, what is a message that you would like to leave with our audience?
What I would say is this: if you know a veteran that's struggling living with PTSD or with a traumatic brain injury, let them know about Soldier's Best Friend. There is hope for them because a dog really can help you. I've watched dogs stop veterans from committing suicide. I've watched dogs bring a veteran down from a high anxiety attack to reality of where they are. I've watched dogs put a calmness in a veteran. I've watched veterans come into this program who didn't go to their kids' Little League ball games, but now can go because they've got a dog that gives them the comfort and the confidence to be out in public again. Veterans who didn't sleep in the bed with their spouse because of nightmares and they'd wake up thrashing now can sleep in the bed with their spouse because the dog wakes them up before the nightmare gets bad. It transforms a veteran's life. So if you know a veteran living with PTSD or a traumatic brain injury, get them here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
We're going to go ahead and start the raffle. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for visiting the nonprofit. Thank you for getting up on the hill. So we've got a few prizes for the people that showed up. I'm going to have my son, Nash, go ahead and pull them, and I'm going to announce what they are. The very first thing we're going to give out these great red Trilogy colored Vet Center tumblers. These are donated by the Vet Center. Thank you, Eddie, for doing that. All right, the first one, Jim Davis.
Jim, all right, go hand it to Jim.
All right, we'll go another one. I got Pike. Bobby.
Yes.
Next is Jim R. All right, here we
Woo,
go,
woo.
Jim. Hey, make sure you open up those boxes and they're in there because it is a government gift. All right, next one. We've got JR. All right, who do you want us to give it to? Or you want us to put it back in there? Just put it back in. All right,
Okay.
we're gonna put you out over here. You want yours back in, Jim? All right, we'll put it back in because you want something else. Is that Dove? Dove?
Doug.
Doug. Doug, sorry about that.
These are two more.
Two?
These are nice.
Is this the box for this one?
Yeah.
Next, Steve M. All right, Steve.
Yeah, Steve. I know, you gotta mix them up a little bit more.
That's all right. I don't know how this is happening. My son must like your table. How?
Yeah, we gotta mix
Yeah.
them up.
All right.
Next we're gonna
We'll do
do
the mini cigars. Or
5 cigars.
All right, we got 5 cigars, one at a time coming out. We want everyone a winner.
Bill, you got a cigar. I hope you like cigars.
Dan.
Sarver?
Sarver. There you go. Cigar to you, my friend. And Steve M.
Steve M.
M, another cigar. There you go. I think Scott smokes them too, wherever he's at. But he ain't gonna ask. Rob Harverson. Rob?
Rob.
Can we give the cigar to you and you'll take care of it? Okay. You give it to
Yeah.
Mary. One more.
Bobby,
a cigar.
These mugs, these tumblers.
Tumblers. Now this one's got Don't Tread on Me. There's the tumbler red, just like Trilogy. On the other side is First Page and Soldier's Best Friend. We've got 2 of them. We'll go red first. Here it is, red first. Scott Duke.
Scott.
JR.
Flask and 1 cigar.
All right, we got Chris Hall.
Chris Hall. For your wife or lovely lady.
Scott Hall. All right, you want to give it to him? Yep, I'll give it. All right. Last one, it's a flack with 4, and we've got a couple cigars with it. This is the big one. Last one, here we go. And the winner is...
Marv. Go Marv.
Well, thank you so much. We've got one more thing to do, an organizational award for the organization that did the most to collect the donations. I think Scott Duke needs to come up here. He is the president of the Trilogy Veterans Club. They've been doing great things for years now.
Oh, beautiful.
And
Yes.
on behalf of the organization's First Page and Soldier's Best Friend, thank you so much for your
Thank
support.
you.
I think you guys did $2,000 in donations.
Thank you.
Matt. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, guys. for going up.
As far
All
as
right.
everything else, we've got freebies up here. Glass for your eyeglass cleaner. We've got some sticker stuff that you can put on vests. We've got some bands that you put on your wrist. Nash, you want to show them what that looks like? We got some vet tender dog tags you can give to your family and friends. It's all freebies. And what everybody needs, and I'm figuring out this quick, is all the pills that the VA wants to give you. Monday through Sundays. It's marked on the day. All right, love you guys. Thank you so much for your support.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Mike.
Scott's going to come out and talk about cross-eyed cricket and what you set up for this great event, sir.
So, as you know, honorary member of the club is, of course, the Cross-Eyed Cricket. Always been big sponsors of us. They love veterans. They love this club. And so I talked to Brian Faulkner and worked it out. And Cross-Eyed Cricket donating all the wings. I saw pretzels in there as well. So we want to thank them for being just great sponsors of veterans and great sponsors of us.
All right, women and children, let's eat. And don't forget to tip your servers well. A lot of us were servers before. We know how it feels, so do that.